Have you ever gone traveling somewhere? My family, we're planning a trip to the Toronto Zoo, and I'm really excited, but I'm a little nervous too. Have you ever been nervous to go traveling somewhere? Well, we're going to come back to that thought. First, let's check in. We're going to finish up our Psalm 121 that we've been studying over the summer. This is our last video over these scriptures here, and I just wanted to see how you're doing. Are you trying to memorize it? If you do have it memorized, I'd love for you to send a video to us at kids@evangelnapanee.com to share with us your video. Let's read it together. Are you ready? All right. Psalms 121. I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. So this is a really great psalm. We've been looking through it verse by verse, and we've come to verses 6 to 8 really, and those last 3 verses are really interesting because you can start to tell now this psalm has a theme. Have you figured out what the theme is yet? The theme is traveling. So what's really cool is as the world's history has progressed, we have built on the knowledge that our previous generations have learned. And so we understand a lot of things about science that people did not understand thousands of years ago when this psalm was written. So if you look back to when this psalm was written and the people it was written to, we're talking about people who were afraid. They didn't understand the way that the world worked in its entirety. Not that we do either, but they believed that there were gods all over the earth, and you had to make these gods happy or else you'd be in trouble. So if you were traveling, you needed to figure out which gods were in charge of which communities and then make them happy so that if you were traveling there, you would have traveling mercies. This psalm is reminding God's people, you don't have to be worried when you travel because the sun will not harm you. The moon will not harm you. You know, they believed that the sun and the moon and the planets and the stars were all gods that they had to make happy or else they'd be in trouble. But we understand that God created the sun and the moon and the stars and the planets. He created the whole world, and He is the one who is in charge. When we travel, we don't have to prepare ahead to say, okay, this God is in this area and this God is in that area. So, okay, this guy, he likes tomatoes, and so I'm going to make sure I bring tomatoes with me. But this God over here, he likes lettuce, so I'll make sure I'll bring lettuce with me. No, we don't have to do that anymore because we understand that God is in control. And so when we read these verses, we see very clearly God's not going to let our foot slip. He doesn't slumber. He's not going to be taking a break while we're traveling. He's always watching us. We know that when we're coming and we're going, He is with us. So when we travel somewhere, like when my family is going to the Toronto Zoo in a few days, we don't have to pre-plan out our path and know what dangers lie ahead. We can just hit Google, get directions, and go. But first, we're going to do something really important. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to pray, and we're going to ask for God's protection, because He is the only one who can provide the real protection that we need when we're traveling. And we trust God to take care of us and be with us. So I really like this, because we're always on the go, right? We're always traveling somewhere, traveling to school, traveling to church, traveling to the grocery store, traveling to the library. Maybe you're traveling on a family vacation. Always traveling somewhere, but I don't have to be afraid to get in the vehicle and to go somewhere, because I'm trusting in the God who created everything. He has the whole world in His hands, and He takes care of you, and He takes care of me. So remember the verses of Psalm 121 and hold on to it. When you're afraid, when you're nervous, know that God is with you. He's not going to leave you. He created everything. He's got you in His hands. He's going to take care of you. And you can remind yourself, I look to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord. So I challenge you, as you finish out these summer weeks before school starts, to be trusting in the Lord and to hold on to the protection and the mercies that He has for us as we live our everyday life.
Oh, hey, today I'm going to ask you guys some would you rather questions, and I'm going to answer these ones today, and then what you guys can do is think up some of your own would you rather questions, and you can send the video to us at kids@evangelbethany.com. So let's get right to it here. So here's one, it's a really good one.
Would you rather only be able to crawl on all fours or only be able to walk backwards? I think I would go with walk backwards. Would you rather have a bucket stuck on your head or a cement block stuck on your foot? I'm gonna have to go with bucket on that one. Would you rather eat pizza or ice cream every day for the rest of your life?
I think that pizza sounds like my favorite choice there.
Would you rather jump into a pool full of chocolate pudding or strawberry ice cream?
That's the hardest one so far, but I think strawberry ice cream. Yum.
Hey boys and girls, welcome back. It is Miss Shalana, and that means it is time for us to do another very cool science experiment together. Now, I have to warn you that for today's experiment, you're really going to want to do this one at home. Usually the experiments that we do together have something really cool that we can see, so you get to watch me do it and then maybe you get to do it at home. Well, today's experiment is more about actually feeling the science experiment, because we are going to do something that we are going to end up eating. So it's not really going to look that cool, it's going to feel really cool, so you're definitely going to want to try this one at home. And the nice thing is you really only need two things. You need an orange or a clementine, or a lemon if you're brave, something a citrusy fruit, that's what you need, and you need baking soda. That's it. Those are really the only two things that you need for this experiment. So the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to take our orange or our clementine and we're going to cut it up into slices as if we were going to eat it. So let's...
Make sure you get a parent or a guardian to help you cut this, because we don't want to hurt ourselves.
slices. That's perfect. Now I'm gonna take my baking soda and I'm just going to use a spoon to scoop out some and just leave it on the side of my plate. Okay, so I'm gonna scoop out some baking soda and just set it right on the side of my plate there. Can you see that? There we go. Okay, so we got some baking soda. Now, I have a question for you. If you have watched previous videos, or you've maybe done it at home, have any of you ever seen a baking soda and vinegar volcano explosion? You probably have, right? We know if we mix vinegar and baking soda together, it makes a really big eruption. Well, the reason that it does that is because vinegar is what we call an acid, and baking soda is a base. And if you mix the acid and the base, it makes this wonderful explosion. Now, for today's experiment, we have baking soda, that's our base. And you know what? Oranges are actually an acid. Now, they're not a dangerous acid. We can eat oranges, right? And they're good for us, they're healthy, but they are what we would call in science slightly acidic. So, if we were to mix this acid with our base, we can make a chemical explosion in our mouth. Doesn't that sound so cool? Okay, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your orange slice and you're just gonna dip a side of it slightly into the baking soda. Kind of just like that. Okay, not a lot because baking soda doesn't taste very good. We just want it for the actual reaction, not for the taste. So we're gonna dip it in like that, and then I'm gonna take a big bite of my orange, and you can see my orange smile. You know what? It's kind of fizzy. And it kind of tastes like orange crush, like orange pop, which makes sense because orange pop is fizzy. Let's try it again. I'm gonna cut a little bit smaller piece because that one I had my mouth really full. Okay, I'm gonna cut a nice little small piece. I'm gonna dip it in my baking soda. Just a nice little dip in my baking soda. And let's see if we can get nice and fizzy again. It really does taste like orange pop. Well, there you go. If you can't have orange pop, or you want orange pop like orange crush and you don't have it at your house, just dip an orange in baking soda. That's good. Now, I want you guys to try that at home. This experiment doesn't look very cool watching it, but it tastes good and it feels kind of fizzy in your mouth, so you gotta give it a try at home. And if you do, make sure you send us a video or a photo, maybe a photo of your big orange smile. That would be a good photo. So have fun, and I look forward to seeing your photos and videos of your very own orange baking soda experiment.